Hi, this is Ivona from CNX. In this video, I will show you how to use Valence Nitro Query to create a customer dashboard. In order to create queries, you need to define data sources and widgets. Let's start by creating a new data source. This is where we tell Nitro Query about your database files, how to join files, select columns, sort options, etc. I will start with an easy case and just add demo CMAST file. There are up to 7 steps to configuring a data source, but only 2, the columns step and previewing the data file, are mandatory. All other steps are optional. You can move between the steps by clicking Next or Previous, or jump directly to a step by clicking its name or number. For the demo CMAST file, I'll just choose the following columns: number, name, address, city, state, and zip code. I don't want to configure anything else, so I will go directly to the preview step to look at the data. This section will retrieve some sample records from the file and show me the results in a grid and in raw JSON format. It looks good to me, so I'll save this data source definition. The name will be customers, and I'll make the description of Valence 50 demo. Next, I'll create a widget for the data source. A widget is a definition of how to display records from a data source, such as in a list or a pie chart. To create a new widget, locate the data source in the grid, click the row menu, and choose Create Widget. In this case, I want to display the data source records in a grid, so I'll select Valence View Grid. Nitro Query will then display all the columns in the data source with various options for how to display those columns in the list. First, I will click the checkbox on the far left for every column except address line 2. I don't want that column to display in my grid. Next, I'll drag the customer number column to the bottom of the list and change the same column to align to the right. Next, I will click inside each cell under the label column and change the column name to be a bit cleaner. I will change customer name to just name, customer address line 1 to just address line 1, and then I will do the same with all the other column names. I'll change customer address state to just address state, the zip code, and the same with the number column. Now I'll change the width flags for each column. Any value entered that is less than 10 is assumed to be a flex number. Each column with a flex value will fill the width according to the column's relative flex value compared to the sum of all columns with a flex value specified. Values of 10 or greater are assumed to be a specific width for the column and number of pixels. I will apply some flex values to the columns. Name will be 3. Address line 1 will also be 3. City will change to 2. State and zip code will be both 1. And I'll change the number to 1. Now I'll go to Properties and enter a title for this widget of Customers. I will also set the selection options to stripe the rows, paging, search, and column lines. I'll also set the page size to 100 records. Now I'll save the widget with the name of Customer List and the description of Valence 50 demo. I now want to add another data source over the same demo CMAST file. This data source will be used for a pie widget of the top 5 cities with the highest number of customers. This time I will configure my new data source to group and count records to give me the specific data I need for the widget. I'll start by adding the demo CMAST file, and then I'll go to the columns section. Here I will choose the record count and city. Next, I will go to the group by section and notice that the city is already selected as a group by default. Next, I will go to order by, select count, and change the order to descending. This will give me the total number of customers in each city listed in descending order. Finally, I'll preview the results. This looks correct, and then I will save the data source with a name of top cities by customer and the description of Valence 50 demo. Now I will create the widget for this new data source. First, I'll find the new data source in the list, then click the row menu and create widget. I will select the Valence pie chart and configure it as follows. The title will be top 5 cities. The data field will be VV count and the label field will be F1 city. And the limit result will be 5, so it will just show the top 5 cities. To make it look nice, I will adjust the donut setting to about 32 and the padding to about 56. Now I will save the widget with the name of top 5 customer cities and the description of Valence 50 demo. Finally, we will create a query that incorporates our new widgets. I'll switch to the Queries tab and click the plus button to add a new query. Next, I'll click the Add Widget button and choose the customer list. Now I will click Add Widget again and select the top 5 customer cities widget. I'll click the up arrow on the top 5 cities widget in order to move it up next to the list. I'll then add a title to the query of Valence 50 demo query app. To refine the look of the query, I'll click the cog icon on the customers widget and change the right margin to 4. Then do the same with the left margin on the top 5 cities widget. Now I will demonstrate how to add a click event. Click events are powerful features of Nitro Query that allow a click on one element of a widget to have an effect on another widget in the same query. In this case, I'll make it so that when I click a record in the list, the pie chart will limit to show just the top cities in the selected state. First, I'll click Set up Click Events, Add Click Event. For the Click widget, I'll choose Customer List. For the Update widget, I'll choose Top 5 Customer Cities. For field relationships, I'll map the state column from the list widget to the state column on the pie chart. For the widget title, you can type any text and incorporate any field name in curly brackets like this. Now I will save the click event and save the query. For the folder name, I'll enter Nitro query demo, and for query name, Nitro query demo. And I'll add this to examples category and the group of all. And save. Now that the query is finished, let's try to run it from the Launchpad. Here it is in the examples category. I'll just click it to launch. And there it is. To test the click event, I'll click on some different states and notice how the pie chart widget is then limited to just the cities in that state. Also notice how the title on widget changes to indicate the current filter information. To clear the click event filter, click on this X.